between the chairs and the table feels kind of weird.
It's not a lot, is it?
But I can feel my legs being crushed.
Yeah.
If I were to sit normally. So now I'm kind of...
Are you sitting like spread out?
Yeah. I mean, which... I mean, it's kind of weird, but... I mean, I think I've done this before on a few podcasts where like just the chairs we happen to be sitting in, they're kind of weird. And so, I mean, I kind of like this because it forces me to sit up a bit straighter.
Yeah.
But,
Well, what do you think? Is that okay? Or
yeah, it'll be fine.
okay.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
How you been? What have you been doing?
Is this it? We're started?
What?
Are we starting?
Oh yeah, we've been going.
Yeah. I've been good. I got one more semester of college left. That's graphic design. So, yeah. Then I gotta find a job. I gotta do a lot of adult things that I haven't done before. But, you know, it's all pluses and minuses, I guess, right?
Yeah. And you're still studying graphic design, right?
Yeah.
At the Maine College of Art?
Yep. It's pretty nice. You know, one of the smaller schools you can go to. Our graduation ceremony should be like 100 kids.
Yeah.
Max. One thing that I'm really into is data visualization. So, like, who knew? But, like, going into graphic design, you know, you learn all the graphic design stuff and it's like, okay, this is cool. I can, you know, be this person or whatever. But then, like, you find that thing that you like, and then it's, you know, because for me, it reminds me of, like, doing engineering, because that's where I started, is in engineering back at NCCC.
I was disappointed that last summer we weren't able to see each other because you had stayed up there, right?
Yeah, I had an internship all summer.
And you were like an RA or something like that?
Yep, I was a pre-college RA for the pre-college program, and I was technically a summer RA as well. But yeah, there was like no real kids there until the pre-college thing started, which is like 3 weeks of just high school students, and they have like no freedoms, and they're just like taking classes 9 hours a day. And so like when they finally finish up at the end of the day, it's like our job to make sure they like have fun and stuff. But even then, we're still like trading on and off shifts, so it wasn't that intense all in all until the last day when I was supposed to have a day off, but day offs weren't really guaranteed, so they took mine away, and we had to sit outside these two quote-unquote bad kids rooms until like curfew, at what point like no one's allowed to leave the room.
Okay.
Yeah, that was silly, but who knows.
What's it like up in Maine?
Honestly, like I get that question a lot, and weather-wise, it's not much colder, and I think that's probably just because it's by the water.
All right.
But it does get like a lot of weather quickly, you know, so like it'll rain pretty quickly, pretty frequently, honestly, and it's windy. That's the one thing, is that you're getting like ocean winds, you know, and then, you know, you bottleneck through that, all the city streets and stuff, and then it turns into a pretty windy city.
Yeah. And what kind of stuff have you, any exciting kind of projects aside from like being the internship or?
Well, I got to do a thesis that's coming up, and I want to do it somehow on data visualization, right?
Okay.
Using a data set, trying to tell a story with it, trying to communicate with it, you know, without, you know, compromising the data, things like that. And so this idea that I've been working with is to take like an example of a typeface. So in this case, I'm using ITC Bangyat, which if you don't know, that's the Stranger Things logo.
Okay.
And it's like everything they do. Their whole brand is just ITC Bangyat because it's like this famous 80s typeface and was on everything. But after I started noticing it being used a lot, I started like taking pictures of times I found it, and I have this really big album of photos now. And a lot of it is like this real like low end design where it's like a small business or like a street sign, something like that, you know, for like a tiny strip mall, or like, you know, some sort of mom and pop ice cream shop, or just like a really bad pulp novel or something from the 80s, you know, so all kinds of stuff. And it's And so what I'm trying to look into is like, okay, say this, in the same way you might look at a word and be like, okay, society uses this word, but how are we really using it? What does it really mean? What's the context we have in it? So I want to use that kind of idea of a lexicon and say, okay, how are we using this typeface in a design lexicon?
Okay.
Like, say we use it in this, and this. Is there something unifying there that we can say, okay, when we look at this typeface, we're trying to say this, Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And, it's a whole semester project, so I expect it to change and hopefully get better than that kernel. But yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Maybe if Sue Berg is listening, she'll understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, were you able to check out many of the episodes of the podcast before today?
I was able to check out the most recent one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about like how much people know about the show before they come on. Mm-hmm. And if like some people might listen.
I guess I'm pretty much an amateur.
Some people might listen to a few to like get the vibe or whatever.
Other than that, I was kind of like thinking, there's a lot of pop culture stuff going on these days too. And personally, you and me haven't talked a lot in a while. We both have a affinity for music and movies and things like that.
Yeah.
So I know we could talk about that for a while.
Yeah, sure. But did you at least like look through the episodes, like notice like, oh, they're on, like I know them, like I might save this episode for later to listen to? Because
I didn't recognize the names. No.
The early episodes were probably people you knew, like Phoebe Cassiani. And
from our photography class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jimmy G.
Jimmy G?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then of course Sue Berg is among the early guests there. So you could listen to that one. They're all pretty fun. I'm a bit biased, but I think they're all pretty fun.
Yeah, I will.
And since then it's mostly been like either professors at I'm going to University of Hartford.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know. And like having professors on or just friends.
Mm-hmm.
There's also one with Dr. Beck from Northwestern, the professor of psychology.
Yeah.
Have you ever had him?
No.
No, it was fun.
From where are we?
Yeah, at Northwestern Connecticut Community College.
Yeah, I didn't. I only had like one. I guess you would call it philosophy class, and that was ethics, and I had kind of a crazy lady. Yeah. Yeah, I passed. I feel like I didn't do the work though.
Or wait, do you listen to many podcasts? Are you?
I do listen to some podcasts. Like during the internship, I used to listen to them all the time.
Okay.
Since starting school again, at the beginning of the semester, last semester, less so. A few times when I'm working just by myself. Mm-hmm. Me and my girlfriend, we like to listen to Welcome to Nightville a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gotten really into that, even though I'm not that far yet. Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of Star Talk.
Okay.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
And like Adam Savage stuff, like huge Adam Savage. He just came out of the book too, and I have it. Like not far yet, but like it's so great so far, and it's already like I'm already making changes in my life because of it.
One of my favorites is are you aware of Cinema Sins?
Cinema what?
Cinema Sins.
Sins?
Cinema Sins.
Like original sins?
Sure.
Like the biblical sin?
Yeah, sins.
Yeah.
As like they have a YouTube channel where they nitpick movies. It's called and the series is called Everything Wrong with Insert Title of Movie.
Oh, do they do like I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're just like picking like continuity errors or like this doesn't make sense. Like why would anyone do this? They survived this.
Yeah.
Or like logos.
Yeah.
Just a minute and a half of logos. Sitting ding. And they have a podcast where they talk about movies and stuff, and they even like do episodes where they review movies that are coming out. In fact, on the way over here, I was listening to their review of The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah, have you seen it?
I did.
Yeah.
And you?
I have seen it as well. Are we about to get into this?
We could. I just got into it with another guest yesterday, but
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
I mean, I'll say a couple things. One, I thought it was better than The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I thought it was maybe as good as The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
But there's like the big problem with
like
the
3 asterisks in your...
Yeah, there's so many asterisks. And like the main one is that, you know, and this is not even J.J. Abrams' fault or any of the director's fault. It's a really higher up thing, is that they were making the movies up as they went along, right? They didn't have a plan. And so like everything they, you know, fix or answer in this movie feels like an apology, or like feels like something, or
just giving a finger to Rian Johnson for Last Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I still enjoyed it. Like there was some like it went went a lot more over the top than I thought it would, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
which, by the way, depending on when this is released, we might not want to say many.
Yeah, I was about to
details.
say spoiler alert and stuff, but like, you know, the faceless Sith people, like all of them, you know, and they all died.
Well, I mean, I was confused on whether or not they were actually there, or it was like a forced projection.
I was confused about that too, and then I saw a video about like where this guy was taking apart the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary, and apparently they are real. Like they're just cultists, and they were raised into the cult. So like,
all right, whatever.
You know, 100% brainwashed. We don't have to feel bad about it. Yeah. You know,
but
unlike stormtroopers, which apparently now like only 90 to 80% brainwashed.
Yeah, I was more disappointed in it just as a film, because like, you know, like the beginning, it just feels like a lot of the pacing is not great, because
the pacing it's so fast.
Yeah,
everything's happening so fast.
It just feels like you're being strung along on errands to
and
different
you're just planet hopping too.
Yeah.
That's one thing I didn't like about this series either. Like, you know,
at least the sequel trilogy, you mean?
The sequel trilogy, yep. Like if you look at the prequels, and I'm biased about the prequels because I love the prequels. I grew up with them. You know, just my age as a 24-year-old person. Like that's what I grew up with, is the prequels. And obviously, I know I love the originals, and I know that the originals are better. And I equally love the originals. You know.
Okay.
But because just purely sentiment, nostalgic value, I like the prequels as much.
I own the prequels, but I haven't watched them.
I know. That's crazy. Honestly, like it's one of the richest areas of Star Wars lore. And I'll say this, like, you know, they're not good movies, not good films, you know. And what's great about Star Wars is there's so much more than the film that you can love.
Yeah.
You know, even in the original trilogy, like, you know, you had campy, like next to bad acting, you know, and like, and even episode 6, like in a way didn't live up to episodes 4 and 5, but none of that matters. You know, it doesn't matter how bad the movies get because, you know, what you're after is like that, you know, like, okay, like this is that universe that I love. Like I need to know all about it. You know, I need to know like about this part or that part.
Yeah, there's like a greater mythos to learn about.
Exactly. And so like the prequels do that amazingly, you know. Again, bad acting, you know, overuse of like computer CGI and stuff. And in general, some bad characters, like your Jar Jar Binks and your stuff like that. But what it adds to like the galaxy is like immense.
The Star Wars lore.
Yeah, it's immense.
Yeah.
You know, and even if it's dry at times, you know, tons of Senate scenes and stuff, but
just like talking about political, whatever, the trade routes, blah, blah.
Yeah, the whole Clone Wars is incredibly like subtle, and the separatists leave because of like trade, taxes, you know, totally financial reasons almost, you know. It's not, that war is just a mess.
Yeah.
As opposed to like your grander like Civil War fighting against the Empire.
Yeah.
Original trilogy stuff.
Now that we've seen them, all 9 of them, of the Skywalker saga, how would you rank them? In
terms of, I'll do it in terms of like film value, you know, as opposed to like me.
How much you enjoy them?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Because like I can watch episode 1, which is like objectively one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
But I can say like every line along with it. But I guess, okay, an objective ranking would be 5, 4, 3, 6. I'm going to let my sentiment in here a little bit. I'm going to say 1.
Okay.
Then I'm going to say 7.
Oh, really?
Then I'm going to say 2, 9, 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 8's the worst one.
Oh, no.
I don't think I'm alone.
So I think we coincide in that of the sequel trilogy, we both like The Force Awakens best.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, even it just feels really distant, you know? And maybe that's just like the time skip, like that's like a 40-year gap, where in comparison, episode 3 and 4 is 20 years, which maybe it's not a big difference or anything. Still the same characters around, but I don't know. Like, there's 2 lightsabers. Well, I guess now there's 3. There's 3 lightsabers. Well, maybe there's 4 because they added 2 more in the Rise of Skywalker. But up until that point, there was only 2 lightsabers in the whole galaxy. Like, and this is Star Wars, and we have supposedly the most powerful Force users.
Yeah. The
thing about the movies is that they're supposed to represent kind of the highest power level, if you want to rank them that way, characters and events going on in the saga. You can't make Rogue One and then have like, some crazy, insane thing go on that's like more scarier than like, the Death Star or Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Those 2 elements come in, but what's beautiful about Rogue One, and I love Rogue One better than the sequel trilogy, I will say that.
Really?
Yeah. What's awesome about that is you're seeing those elements from a point of view of, of a less than part of Star Wars.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, more common people.
Sure.
And and I think maybe that's what Solo misses too, because, Han Solo, he's supposed to be this amazing guy, but like, and I guess this is up to opinion, but personally, I feel Han Solo isn't supposed to be the greatest smuggler ever. Boba Fett's the greatest bounty hunter ever. Like, that's his title. But like Han Solo is just a smuggler, but he's a smuggler with like, a penchant for goodness.
Yeah.
So
I think I liked Solo.
I liked Solo too.
Yeah.
Like, it was an adventure movie.
Yeah.
And like, it kind of felt like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Which in a way is kind of applicable.
Yeah. Being that George Lucas co-created Indiana Jones. Yeah.
And it starred Han Solo.
Yeah. Oh, there's one thing that confuses me about how they call Rogue One and Solo standalone anthology films, which means they're not supposed to be necessarily connected to the main plot line of the saga films, even though they are.
They're intrinsically, yeah.
Yeah, because, Rogue One is about getting the Death Star plans to lead into A New Hope. And then Solo is Han Solo's origin story. I thought when they said they're going to do standalone anthology films, that it was going to be like miscellaneous adventures.
Which I would love. I would absolutely love that. Something entirely disconnected, but still inherently in the universe, because it's a huge universe, You don't have to have Luke Skywalker or, Darth Vader in every single movie. Or, Han Solo. I mean, that's actually why I really love The Mandalorian. I don't know if you've seen The Mandalorian.
I haven't seen it yet, no.
It's very good. I would recommend it.
I'm shopped for cash. I can't afford Disney Plus at the moment.
Yeah. That's how they get you. I will say, I think, and I don't think they're going to do this, because there's a 3-year Star Wars hiatus coming up, which I'm all for, by the way. Back like last year, you had Han Solo and Last Jedi back to back, right? And that was just like a rough year for Star Wars fans, I feel. Yeah. Regardless of how you feel about Han Solo, but after this hiatus, they're going to do like other stuff, I think.
Rian Johnson has his own trilogy planned out.
I think that was canceled.
I think
they took that away.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but there were 2 trilogies planned out. One by Rian Johnson, and one by the guys behind Game of Thrones.
Yep.
I think
Weiss and
David Benioff and David Weiss or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the Game of Thrones guys is the one that got canceled. I think Rian Johnson is still going. I could be wrong. It could be the other way around.
I think it's the other way around.
Okay.
I don't know what Rian Johnson's thing was, but I've heard like suggestions that the David and Dan one is going to be in the Old Republic, which with the introduction of the Mandalorian, and like even in Solo there was like Mandalorian stuff going on in the background, a lot of Easter eggs like that. I think they're ready to get into that.
Yeah.
To go back to my other thing about what they should do next, which I don't think they'll do. Now that episode's 9 done, they should do a standalone Rey film just to solidify her as a character, because she's still like, you can take her or leave her. A standalone Rey film where she's got her new yellow lightsaber. She's all she like goes on a mission just by herself, and she like gets stuck on a planet, and she just needs to like save a village. You know, a total samurai film.
Okay.
You know, something so low key, like maybe 2 planets. And I'd heard that as a plausible like Yoda film. This was like several years ago before the Disney buyout. They're like, oh, they're gonna make a Yoda film where he's young, and it's gonna be like 7 samurai. Which, like, how sick.
But now it's the Mandalorian as Baby Yoda.
Yeah, now it's the Mandalorian. And that, like, and talk about, like, Western and samurai influences. Like, the Mandalorian has that in spades. But, like, how cool would that be? Yoda and, like, 6 other Jedi go, and Yoda's the youngest one.
Yeah.
Or not the youngest, but, like, the most inexperienced one. Only 100 years old, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And they all die, except for Yoda, and Yoda saves the day.
Yeah.
And it's, like, you know, a couple hundred years before Episode 1, and there wouldn't be any Sith.
Yeah.
You can't have any Sith.
Yeah.
It's during the Rule of 2 era.
I think that's enough Star Wars talk.
Yeah, that was good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be 2 episodes in a row where it's just me talking to someone about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I think that's but
that's my bread and butter. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But have you seen anything cool in what's your favorite movie of recent?
Favorite recent movie? You know, I'm a huge sci-fi fan. And I'm trying to think of the sci-fi movies that came out recently. The only other movie I saw recently was... Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, the most recent film I saw was Jumanji, but before then I saw...
I'm seeing Jumanji later today.
So, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Honestly, they're fun movies.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with them. This isn't giving anything away, but there's like a part where like there's a rope bridge sequence, and all the ropes just go up.
Oh.
And there's nothing there, but they're in a video game, so it's totally fine.
Yeah.
You know? You know? There's nothing holding down any of the bridges. Nothing.
Okay.
But it's a video game, and like that kind of stuff happens all the time. Yeah. Like I'm thinking of God of War and stuff. Like that stuff happens all the time in video games, so it's totally applicable. But okay, films of 2019. I was actually doing this with a friend. You know, just like best of 2019 because now it's 2020. But the Joker was great. I loved the Joker.
Okay.
Well, it's not the one time though, but I still think about it sometimes.
Yeah, I saw it.
I figured you.
I saw it like 1.25 times.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Because what happened was I was going to see it, and I just I'm a dummy, and I walked into the wrong screen. I walked into the wrong auditorium.
Yeah.
I sat down. I walked in on the scene where he punches out the clock thing.
Like punches out.
Hey guys, I'm punching out, and I'm like, wait, where am I? And then I watched it for about half an hour until I walked out. I'm like, oh, this is the wrong screen. Damn it. Yeah. And then, another later day, I went in and actually watched it. And, I liked it, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite thing.
No, I mean, just thinking of 2019 movies, like, I think it's one of the better 2019 movies. I'm trying to remember what other movies came out, though.
I saw Knives Out.
I've heard really good things about that.
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't yet.
It's, well...
I know it's a murder mystery.
I'll tell you this. Ryan Johnson did a better job on this than The Last Jedi.
This was Ryan Johnson?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It has everyone in it.
Yeah,
like Chris Evans, Toni Collette, Michael Shannon.
What an amazing guy.
Don John, Ana de Armas.
Was Shape of Water this year?
No, that was
last year.
That was 2017.
I was just watching that on a DVD. Oh, 2017. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a great movie. Michael Shannon, like, I cannot watch enough Michael Shannon. Yeah, like, that was part of the reason why I wanted to go see. Want to go see Knives Out.
Yeah.
Funny you don't see, like, director of The Last Jedi on those ads, Do
you like his other movies, though? Have you seen, like, Looper or Brick?
Damn, he did Looper and Brick?
Yeah.
I have seen both of those. And I think they're both commendable, yeah. I don't love Brick only because it feels long, but like I love the idea of Brick as like, a noir
set in high school,
but at the same time with real consequences and real like threats.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. No.
And Looper, like, you can dive into like the sci-fi faults of that movie, but like still a great movie.
All right. Yeah. Have you seen any of the Oscar baity late release movies? Those kind of movies that they don't really release until like late December.
Oh, are you talking about this year?
Yeah. Like,
Like what?
leading up to the 92nd Academy Awards that will take place like a month from now.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I might have. Which ones? Which
like,
ones are you
I
referring
saw Little Women.
to? I haven't seen Little Women. I want to see Little Women.
It's
I'm
pretty
actually
good.
a big fan of Emma Watson, and I kind of get crap for this, but I do think she's a good actress.
Yeah. I went to see it because
It's out already?
it's written and directed by Greta Gerwig, who she did Lady Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
and-
seen Lady Bird.
I think they're good films, and
Yeah.
she's a terrific writer director.
And I heard they did like a sort of different ending based on like the original author's intent, which
Yeah.
also speaks to the
Yeah,
idea
it-
of like, suppressing women's.
Yeah, I would say
artistic.
it goes a bit meta,
Yeah.
but just meta enough that it feels good. It feels right.
I love that. I have a fun fact about that movie, actually.
What?
So you've seen it already, right?
Yeah.
Was there a scene where there's like a printing press?
Yes,
Yeah. So
there was like a montage of printing a book.
Yeah. So I know the guy who owns that printing press.
Really?
Yeah, he is in Portland, Maine, and he's close friends with, like, he works in the same building as one of my professors,
Oh, okay.
and his shop. My professor is a letter designer,
Okay.
a typographer.
And there was one day he just dropped the bomb, like, "Hey, my press was in Little Women."
Oh yeah. Well, like, since his name's David Wolf, and since like he's so close, like we'll go to field trips like to him. Like so we went with my class once. We went with my internship with the design studio in Maine. I went with them too because they were doing work with him. So I've met him a few times and I've seen him speak. And yeah, he's got this like Victorian era printing press because he makes hand-bound books, like high quality printing, letterpress, linotype, things like that. But so like, not only is he known for that, but he's known for having these old, almost antique machines that still work. And so he was contacted and they flew him to London, like with his thing. They got him like in a costume.
Right.
I don't know if he's in the film. I don't know if he knows he's in the film or not. Like he was in costume and like there was filming going on.
Did he? They filmed it in Massachusetts.
Okay.
So did he ever travel to Massachusetts to do it?
Yeah, maybe that's where it was.
Okay.
I know he was there with it, like printing in costume.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's probably just his hands,
Right.
So those might be his hands in the movie. But yeah, that's his press, and I've seen that press. So
that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah. Have you seen 1917?
I haven't.
The war
that's
film?
not out yet, is it?
It should. I think it might. Probably it's been out, but probably not in our area.
Yeah.
So I want
to see that too.
I really want to see that.
And now Christopher Nolan's coming out with a new thing.
Oh yeah, that's in summer 2020.
Yeah.
Tenet. Yeah.
Like Christopher Nolan's just getting so, and like I love Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
But like it's a little pretentious, I feel.
What do you mean?
I don't mean to, like I like Christopher Nolan. I don't mean to like pick on him or anything, but like he's a great director, so he doesn't have to say anything about this movie in order in order to get the ticket sales.
Yeah.
So like, and if you look at the trailer, like it tells you nothing.
Oh, nearly nothing.
Nearly nothing. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel that's gonna be a trip. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And it stars John David Washington, Denzel's son.
Yeah. I'd heard that.
Have you seen him in anything?
No, but someone told me he was in something. I think he was in a show or something.
Ballers.
Okay.
He's in Ballers.
Yeah.
And Black Klansman.
Is he the main character in Black Klansman?
Yeah, he is. Have you seen that?
No, but I want to see that.
Yeah, it's I just bought it the other day.
Yeah.
And I saw it in theaters, and then just in the past few days I bought it and watched it again, and it's great.
Kylo Ren's in that movie, isn't he?
Yeah, Adam Driver. It's directed by Spike Lee.
Yeah,
so.
it looks amazing.
It's kind of hilarious too.
Yeah.
Because do you know about? Do you have any background on Black Klansman? Do you know what it's about?
Yeah, I know what it's about. I haven't
Just the whole
infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan, even though he's like an African American cop.
It's a goddamn Dave Chappelle skit brought to life.
Yeah.
And
but isn't it a true story too?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. There's a moment where so John David Washington playing Ron Stallworth.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking on the phone, he's like, "Hey," in his white voice.
Yeah.
"I read your ad in paper. I totally want to be part of the Klan."
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like, hate them all. Right.
Then he hangs up, and then Adam Driver is like, "Did I just hear you use your real name?" He's like, "Oh shit."
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh, but that's cool. Yeah. And
that reminded me of movies from about like that era. And I did just see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
that's 2019, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it too. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was it's really different from Tarantino's normal stuff, I feel.
Sort of, but also
just
like,
tonally, you know?
Yeah. Because like I would think like half of that movie is just Brad Pitt driving.
Yeah.
And
there's a ton of like we had it on a DVD now, and there's a ton of like they shot so much stuff for that movie.
Yeah.
There's a full sequence of like what's the name of that show that he does in the movie, I mean? Bounty Law?
Yeah, Bounty Law.
Yeah, there's a whole sequence of Bounty Law, right?
Yeah.
Like almost the whole episode, right?
Yeah.
At least like from commercial to commercial.
It feels different because I think this might be the first movie Tarantino has done that is like a little inside baseball in like making movies, right? Because because the characters are like actors on a show, and it takes place mostly in like studio lots, but it still feels like the ending is it's like the Tarantino-iest thing.
Yeah,
where he the flamethrower.
I was just thinking about that. Like even though like the famous Manson murders were averted,
Yeah.
And even though he's like walking up to go see all these people, like it's still so eerie because in your mind, like those people like are still dead to you,
Yeah.
Like they're almost like ghosts. And where he's going, we can't follow because that's like not our world anymore at that point. Even though the whole movie they're, an added fictitious couple of people.
And do you like that sequence where Brad Pitt's visiting Bruce Dern? Like the whole walk up into Bruce Dern's room.
Oh yeah, Bruce Dern. Oh my God, yeah. Even to the point where he shakes him and he's actually alive, right?
Yeah.
Like damn, that was a very tense scene.
Yeah.
I remember like almost not seeing it because I remember like there was some backlash from Bruce Lee's family from his escape,
that's right. Yeah.
And like they kind of color him as sort of cocky.
Yeah.
And they do. It is a little weird, I feel.
But it's like a fictionalization of Bruce Lee
and the guy
interacting with other fictional characters. I mean,
and I know the guy they got, like, he's only had like praise for, he looks just like him and he does a great job of like actually portraying him, I feel. And I know that he has only like nothing but respect for Bruce Lee too.
Yeah. I saw Ad Astra.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah.
I really wanted to see that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
it's like a near future, more in space or on the moon or something.
I wouldn't say that. It's Brad Pitt trying to find his father.
Oh,
played by Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones still doing stuff
because like Tommy Lee Jones was an astronaut who went off on some mission to Neptune or something for years, decades. They've lost all contact.
Did they know it's a gas giant? Do they know it's a gaseous planet?
No, and then like Brad Pitt grows up to be an astronaut, and he's like, "I'm gonna go find my dad." So
I know I want to see it, but all I've seen of it is like one trailer played on silent. Like as you're scrolling through YouTube and you just like kind of let it play.
Yeah, I mean it's good. Yeah. In fact, I might buy it. On Blu-ray. Because I think I liked it that much because it's pretty good.
Big year for Marvel too. Like,
oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Endgame, I saw it twice.
Yeah.
I liked it less the second time.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing where I think it's the same situation as I was gonna say it's the same situation as Star Wars, but it's not. But that it's like, there's so much going on and there's so much like literal content in the movie that it just creates its own, voice.
Yeah, I still
it's kind of hard to assimilate into that as the viewer.
I mean, I still liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Marvel, like comic book fan. Like I read them growing up.
Right.
And so like every time they show me something like, oh, I'm like, yeah, haha, look, it's him with the thing and he's doing the,
Yeah.
So like, I loved it. It's just an enjoyable movie, but people say like there's that whole like Robert Downey Jr. should get an Oscar for his performance.
Oscar for best visual effects. Okay.
Yeah, for best visual effects. Like, yeah, all the like hundreds of nameless people should, but But that's like a whole other discussion where like, you know, all the Disney movies they're doing now where it's like live action, 90% digitally animated.
Yeah.
Just call it an animated movie, you know, I would appreciate it more.
In terms of, say, The Lion King,
yeah,
it's not live action.
It's not live action.
Sure they never said it was live action. It is a photorealistic CGI-ing of the movie.
But I feel like they're just stripping away a level of art, you know, when they don't call it. I mean, maybe it's not animation that they need to call it, but I feel like it's its own genre at this point, you know.
Sure, yeah,
or medium. Not a genre.
Yeah. I didn't see The Jungle Book, but
I saw it.
Was it...
This is me frowning over
No, I mean, like, wasn't it like live action plus people who are animated?
Yeah, but like there's one person in the movie. You know?
Okay.
It was shot on a soundstage in San Francisco. Yeah.
No, I haven't been keeping up with all these like Disney remakes that they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. It's just like, what's the next one? You know,
I looked
live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah. They're doing Mulan later.
Mulan, though, okay. I rescind what I said just because Mulan does look good. Like, there's still fantastical elements to it, but like what they're doing, one with like they're being really respectful and like they're talking about like the real Chinese like legend and myth, and they're drawing from that, you know, as opposed to like the one that they made. Mm-hmm. So it's not even a musical either.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. It's not a musical.
Oh,
nobody sings in it the whole time. No one's singing. Okay. It's very serious, and that's like really cool. I feel.
Okay. I remember I was looking it up and I saw the budget, which is like $300 million.
Yeah.
Which that's more expensive than any single of the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like the most expensive one might have been The Force Awakens, so that was like $250 million.
Yeah. And you can maybe chalk that up to a lot of pre-production too.
And now I guess I might see.
And with Star Wars though, they're making costumes and like all sorts of stuff, like physical things too.
Yeah. But
and I kind of maybe I'm wrong about this movie, but it kind of maybe there is that level of physical production.
Yeah. Or
a lot of green screen, like hills and sky, I bet, though.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. I might see it.
Yeah. I mean, I might see it yet, too. Saw the live action Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus.
And how was that for you?
I mean, like you can train a dog. Like there's no reason why you can't get like dog actors. Like tons of famous dog actors in the world, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, and I do think some of the scenes are with real dogs, maybe. But a lot of CGI there and a lot of lip syncing with dog lips.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? I mean, it's it's on Disney Plus, so I can't like really crap on it, you know? It's not like I went to the movies or anything to see it.
Would that have been worth it?
I don't think so. Not on the big screen. No. Oh, Jojo Rabbit.
I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit.
You haven't seen Jojo Rabbit?
No.
Benson.
No, it's a thing it sounds like a thing I would have seen too. So.
Yeah, it does.
But
Taika
Waititi.
Mm-hmm.
Have
you seen his What We Do in the Shadows?
No, I haven't.
Oh, like hilarious movie with the Flight of the Conchords too.
Yeah.
Now he's one of Disney's boys.
Yeah.
But seems like he still has room to do stuff he wants to do.
Yeah.
So I'm glad.
Yeah. I wish I had more time to have seen stuff in like
in theater.
In the theaters, because that's kind of how I see most things now.
Is what, in the theater?
Yeah, because I just can't. Like, I'm so busy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't want to. I have things to do. I don't want to throw on a movie, even though I want to watch something.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, going to the theater to watch it is like, it makes it an obligation. Like you got here, you paid money to watch the thing. Just watch the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like,
it's true.
Maybe just a year ago, I didn't have a lot of time to go out and see stuff because like I was too busy making my own film.
Yeah?
Yeah. Making my own film plus like all my other classes.
Yeah.
And it was just...
No, what I mean, like, I didn't know you were making a film.
Oh, I did, yeah. for one of my film classes from our production courses.
Nice.
I made a film.
Yeah.
You can look at it on my website, and
Yeah.
there's a little. I embedded it in the website. It's I put it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
nice.
which do you want to at least hear about it, the pitch? Or
yeah, I would love to.
Well, it's have you seen Adaptation?
Is that the name of the movie? Adaptation?
Yeah, with Nick Cage.
I don't think so. It's not a sci-fi movie, is it?
No, not really. But it's written by Charlie Kaufman, right?
Okay.
Who's known for his meta-ness.
Mm-hmm.
Adaptation is about him struggling to adapt a book into a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about him struggling to write.
The movie that you're watching?
Yeah. So what I did was I wrote a script about a guy who's trying to write a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps getting distracted. Like, man, I should have eaten something. I should get a drink. I haven't brushed my teeth yet. Finally, he's like, I don't have any ideas.
Yeah.
And then he like stands his head down on the desk. And then after a beat, he looks up. He starts writing the script that is the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you see the same setup from the beginning. He like walks up to a desk, opens on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Someone yells cut off screen. It's another him going like, you're doing it wrong. This is not what we agreed on. Okay. All right. Next take, action. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I started it.
You were the main character?
Well, I was a cast and crew of one.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was writer, producer, director, editor, cinematographer, and sole actor portraying two parts.
Yeah.
So
what, camera on a tripod then?
Oh yeah.
All times?
Yeah. Except for one time that it's okay, so it's hard to do fancy camera movements when you're like doing actor. So I had to make sure if I were to do cool camera movements, I also had to not be in frame. So there's a shot where I'm like looking down at like a mug. And it's supposed to be like my point of view looking down at the mug.
Yeah.
And so I was able to, finagle a way to use the camera, tilt down to look at the mug and not have me in it because it's my point of view.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, like honestly, I'm starting to get recommended a lot of like fan films on YouTube of mostly Star Wars.
Okay.
But like I've seen a lot of like independent films on YouTube too, and it's like it's honestly a great emerging medium.
Yeah.
And I was having a really big conversation recently about like, the future of creative industries like film and stuff. And I think, or I guess my argument was that like, you have YouTube, you have these other platforms, which at the same time, it's okay. Like now we're just paying for streaming services instead of paying for cable. That's that's annoying. Money wise, that's annoying. But at the same time, you have creators like low level creators who are getting audiences like right off the bat, and like that's amazing. And like, and it's also taking away from like extremely high budget stuff, which there's still going to be that kind of stuff, right? But I think this much more like rich spectrum of like budgets and like level of production, all the way down to something free on the online, and I think because of that, I think the industry in itself will kind of like decrease in its novelty, sort of like the way like books, if you think about like literature, used to be like, oh, first you gotta learn how to read, and then like nobody knew how to read, so like if you have a book, it's like super fancy and you're super smart and stuff. We can all read. The books are everywhere. It's super easy to make a book, super easy to write a book. You can write a book, put it in a thing, and like at the very least you can upload it to like a book website or
a place to bound it for you,
place to bind it for you. But even less than that, you can upload it to a marketplace that only binds them as they're sold.
Oh,
so like no supply and demand, like completely gone, right? And I think you're seeing that a lot with like a ton of industries. So like if you're looking at the film industry, people with their phones or people with the stuff that they already have, you know, putting very little into it and like still gaining stuff out of it. But obviously expensive films are going to have that relationship. But now I'm thinking of like 3D printing, another thing where there's no supply, but there can still be demand, you know, because the consumers supplying their own materials and cost in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was sort of tangential, but.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you been playing music lately?
Honestly, this whole semester, just with how busy I was, I don't think I played my guitar. I didn't play my guitar, I know that. I played some other guitars a couple of times, but not really.
Did you not bring your guitar up to Maine? Or?
I did. It's missing one string right now. And there was a place right next to my dorm, but they closed.
Oh.
So I need to find a new place to get strings, which I know of the place. I just need to go there and get it.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll have more time this semester. Last semester was, 4 classes, internship. I was also working with this other artist as like sort of his intern, kind of like under the table and stuff. But, so.
I don't know. I can't remember if I told you, but I got a classical guitar.
A classical guitar?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that?
As in, it's nylon string.
It's nylon string? Nice.
Because I'm taking... I told you I'm minoring in music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm taking guitar classes, and some of them, like, it would fare better if I had a classical guitar.
Yeah.
Because, like, I had an instructor showing me, like, the ropes of, like, classical technique, and I was trying to I was taking a class where it's, like, trying to get my feet wet in terms of, like, learning jazz stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I was learning, what's that famous cello sonata, or not sonata, symphony, not symphony either.
The Bach solo cello thing.
Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
I was learning that, and like, it's actually a pretty simple, tab playthrough.
Yeah.
And I was learning that for a while, but honestly, at this point, like, fingers are so soft. But I was playing that on a, normal
steel string.
Yeah, or something that's brass. I think I had brass.
Mm.
And it is like, I'm sure it would be a little softer on a nylon string too.
Is brass tougher on your fingers than, say, the regular steel string?
I mean, I don't know. I think those are, in terms of like feeling it, I don't feel a difference.
Okay.
I'm sure there are differences, and I'm sure like some brilliant guitar player can tell me the difference.
I think,
but
I might have touched like brass strings for a minute, and they felt weird.
I didn't notice much difference, but I mean, I do a ton of finger picking, so like even on that kind of guitar, like I'm still able to do it.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but
That's
if you want to talk about strings, though, my bass guitar has flat round strings.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's basically the whole thing is based on Paul McCartney. Like, so I have a Hofner viola bass.
Yeah.
With flat round strings. So it's like, do you know what I mean? Because I can illustrate it.
No, I do know what you mean. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool because it's like a half string wrapped around the other string. Yeah. So it just feels, you can see where it's wrapped, but it's totally smooth.
Yeah. Oh, I wrote a song.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a jazz standard.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it sounds like.
Nice.
Like, it's got a swing to it. It's very 2/5-y, and it's I think it sounds good.
2/5? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
In terms of progression.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a lot of...
I thought you were talking about time signature. I was like,
no.
what?
Oh, no. It's in 2/5. No, in terms of progression, because like, for people who are familiar with jazz harmony, it's very spiraling around the circle of fifths to resolve to your one.
Yeah.
Like, I wrote the melody. Had just one melodic phrase stuck in my head. I'm like, I want to expand this and like actually write a song. I was like, okay, I wrote an entire melody, and then I wrote chords to go with it, and then I put lyrics too, which
what's it about?
Oh, I'm not much of a lyricist, so I'm like, if it sounds like a standard, they're just like love songs, right?
Yeah.
So, so it's like very. It sounds a lot like you ever heard of Orange Colored Sky?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like that. That was like kicking around in the back of my mind while I was writing it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I played that in jazz band. I was playing bass in that.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah. I could send you the lead sheet later.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I even wrote a really, I think it's a really cool sounding bridge. Mm-hmm. So that goes like, it's in C, but then the bridge goes to minor for a little bit. And then,
Yeah. That's awesome. I haven't done a ton of music stuff, but I still have, I think I've showed, like, you've seen my looping pedal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I still have that set up, and that's like still, fun to play around with. A couple of contact microphones. So I'm pretty much like, I pretty much play my acoustic guitar more than anything else. So
yeah,
if I can plug that into something, I will, over my electric even. I've been doing a lot of that where I just make like a loop and like keep it going, and then I can put it into half speed.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've been getting to, as you can see here, I've been getting to recording.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's my one pitfall, because I can make a whole thing, it's coming out of an amp. But I don't have a way to like capture it like, digitally.
Yeah.
Hardwired.
Yeah. It's, there's a whole thing, like if you want to get into recording, you kind of have to learn engineering, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess nowadays, because most recording is digital, you also kind of have to like learn computer science. Mm-hmm. And it took me, it's the least intuitive thing ever. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that you need like an interface to record with. Like,
yeah, because you can plug a microphone into your computer.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything
by USB.
Yeah.
Sure, you could use it, but also it's like not the best way to do things.
Yeah.
And then like learning how to like produce and mix stuff, it just took, like when I started doing this, like last summer, I started doing it in the summer, but I didn't launch it until September, right? Mm-hmm. Because I want to give myself time to like learn how to mix, which even the very first recordings that officially went up, they sounded like shit. And it's like, there's no two people will mix the same thing in the same way. And I'm just like, I have to like find my way to like learn how to do this. Mm-hmm. And now I've got a workflow and I know enough I think it sounds okay, but I still think like they could be way better.
Yeah.
In terms of like, if I get better gear, get a different DAW, digital audio workstation, or, whatever.
Yeah.
And you never like actually messed around with recording, have you?
With a recording, like a digital recording, or like with
you're just
equipment?
like recording, actually like recording, like tracks, or
I mean, yeah, on an amateur level, like a lot of what I record is through my phone. Mm-hmm. It's not terrible, but at the same time, it's like any of the dynamic positioning is lost because it's just,
because it's just like a unidirectional, basically a condenser mic.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, you can go through the voice memos thing, and there's a setting where you can uncheck it or check it to be like, high quality audio recording, because the default is like a really low quality.
Yeah.
A standard low quality, but you can check a box in your settings to make it high quality.
Yeah.
And so I have that, but again, like there's problems obviously.
Yeah.
But I've like experimented with getting around that just by like trying to add some hint of a stereo, like in a rudimentary program. Like I have Audacity.
Okay.
Easy enough to just like drop them in and stuff.
Well, if you're at the Maine College of Art, you get the Adobe Suite for free, right?
Yeah, I do.
You can use Audition. That's what I use.
Audition?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it timeline based? Because I know I've been doing a ton of like timeline stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's timeline based.
Yeah.
there's a couple of different views. There's the waveform view where you can work on a particular clip, and it's destructive, meaning if you delete a thing, then you hit save. That's it. But then if you go into like the multi-track view, where you like are mixing like different tracks in together, like we have a drum track, guitar track, vocal track.
So it's not actually touching the files; it's just grabbing from them.
It's a non-linear way of editing them. You're dropping them in, and you edit them within the multi-track, but it's not a destructive process on the files unless you are in the waveform view, in which case you're looking at one clip at a time.
Yeah, this conversation reminded me of a couple things. One, my experimentations with audio engineering and stuff like that. I have this child's piano.
Yeah.
It's not, a pre-teens piano maybe. But it's got like, it's probably like the length of a little longer than like a large computer keyboard. It's got sounds and stuff, but everything goes through the speaker on the side. Right. So it's just one sound. Everything goes through the speaker. Can't plug in headphones, anything like that. Right. But I opened it up and I added a parallel circuit series to the wires going to the speaker.
Cool.
And that wire is just like an old headphone jack. Right. So now I close it back up. It still goes through the speaker all the time, but I can plug it into headphones, or I can add, like the thick adapter.
Yeah.
What's it like? 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Add the 1/4 inch thing, plug it into amplification, plug it into my looping pedal, all of a sudden it's a part of my setup.
Yeah. Have you ever messed with like compressors or EQ?
No, I know what you're talking about though, because I used to use this program Audio Tool.
Okay.
Do you remember I used to use that? It's just like on your computer. It's just like a website you go to.
Oh, okay.
But they have like digital. It's all just basically digital versions of real world pieces of equipment. Yeah. So like beatbox aids and like.
Yeah. Because I gotta tell you this.
Tone
if you've never looked at a compressor before, it doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean looked at it?
Like
just from the outside?
Like you used a compressor.
Yeah.
Like even just looking at the digital plugin, like all the controls, you're like, I don't understand what any of this means. Yeah. Like I said before, it's the least intuitive thing ever.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to a normal person. It took me maybe like a month of active like research to learn how a compressor works. Now I realize it's like one of the most useful things ever.
Yeah.
Because based on the name, you can kind of tell what it does. If you were to record something, but like you kept moving away from the mic and all that, you're like, oh, but it's quiet here because you moved away from the mic. What a compressor does is it can, quote unquote, compress the sound, the waveform, so that the rest of the clip is at a rather. It brings the volume levels together so that there's less of a disparity between the low points and the high points in terms of volume.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. I didn't realize it did that.
Which it's easy to understand that.
Yeah.
But the controls are stupid. it doesn't make any sense until you get used to it.
Yeah. So is that just like a little like almost like a guitar pedal plugin? Is that a physical thing you have?
No, I don't have a physical compressor. All the compressors I've used are digital plugins. Yeah. Like the default one on Audition, it's just like 5 knobs that control like ratio, threshold, limiter, stuff like that. And
I do want to get. I'm between plugins right now. I should say pedals because I want to get like the physical pedals that I can touch and I can hook it up to the stuff I have. But I either want to get a phaser, or just a generic reverb, so it's like, end up working a lot in like the vaporwave aesthetic. So you gotta have them. Yeah, exactly. You gotta have them. One thing I did do, and this will be a plug.
Okay.
I published a vaporwave album on Bandcamp.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
What?
It was all the stuff that I'd made like
Yeah.
2 to 3 years ago, and it was just files sitting on my computer basically.
Okay.
They might be on SoundCloud or something, but I was like, whatever. I'll package it together, make an album called Weather and Traffic Every 10 Minutes.
Wait, what?
It's called Weather and Traffic Every 10 Minutes.
Weather in Traffic Every 10 Minutes.
Yeah.
How long is it?
The whole album? I'm not sure actually, because it's really just a collection of songs, that were made really independently.
Okay.
I know one song is like 10 minutes long for no reason. It's just the same thing. I was just like, man, I'm going to make one that's 10 minutes long.
Oh, God. Oh.
That's me pining after Too Long by Daft Punk.
Yeah. So is this under like just your name, or do you have a pseudonym?
My pseudonym is Neptune with 2 silent E's.
What? Wait, so you added E's?
I added 1 E.
Okay.
To the end.
Oh.
And the one that belongs is already silent.
Yeah.
So the one I added is also silent. So you'd be wrong to say Neptune E. It's just Neptune still.
Okay. Oh, God.
Extended silence.
I don't think this might be the first time I've had a guest on who actually had something to plug.
Yeah.
Or like the other times would have been like we joke around to make a facetious plug at the end or something like that.
It's barely a plug. There's a spot. It's on Bandcamp, so like there's a spot where you can like donate if you want, but it's free for download.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get into like making recordings that sound not like organic instruments.
Yeah.
Like I did a thing in a film class this past semester where I'm like, I haven't done it was an animation class, and I'm not good at animation whatsoever.
Me neither.
and they were all little projects where it's just like 10 seconds of make a walk cycle or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the final project was going to be like 2 minutes long. I'm like, well, I haven't done anything with music yet. For all my other film projects, I've at least like toyed around with like writing a score or just putting like a bit of music in, right? And I decided, I'm going to put music in this. And it's basically a meme.
Yeah.
That's what my final animation project was. It's on a YouTube channel. It's just the clip of Homer receding into bushes.
Yeah.
Right? But I just make it so he's receding into a bunch of food.
Yeah.
It's just that clip over and over again, receding into different images of food.
Yeah.
And I decided to make a
Simpson wave.
Simpson wave, yeah.
Yeah.
And I decided to make a music track, but I knew it had to sound like weird. So I took a clip of me playing guitar and just reversed it. And then I like put my guitar in an open tuning. So the original clip that's reversed, it's in D, right? And I put my guitar in open D, played just the whole harmonic on the 12th fret, all 6 strings, recorded that, and made it into like a weird kind of synth pad drone thing, which is like if I could sing overtones,
yeah,
it'd be a D major chord, just
yeah. Okay, that sounds really nice, actually. Yeah. That's got a range to it.
Yeah,
that sounds like something I might do too.
Yeah. Let's make a Simpson wave band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically future funk right there, or vapor trap.
Why haven't we started a band yet?
Why?
We keep talking about we're going to start a band.
Yeah.
It'd be called Tyler.
Yeah.
Like, as in my last name Ler, Tyler. Yeah. And we haven't done it.
Yeah.
I mean, now that I know about recording and like mixing, maybe we can do it.
Yeah.
We have to like write some songs.
Yeah.
Or put together weird
sounds.
vaporwave tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, easy enough. Like,
let's like vapor punk.
Vapor punk.
Or
ocean grunge. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like, all the weird effects you apply to 80s tunes, you just apply it to Nirvana, and it sounds like it's like a crashing, constant ocean of grunge.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make ocean grunge.
I highly recommend Sea of Dogs
Yeah.
for anyone who wants to explore that.
Vapor punk and like Simpson funk.
Yeah.
Forget.
Yeah.
We'll be the most diverse duo of musical duo.
Yeah.
We'll be the anti-White Stripes. It's gonna
The multicolored, I don't want to say stripes though. I'm thinking polka dots or something.
the multicolored dots.
The pixels or something.
The pixels.
Oh, now I'm thinking of like that bad movie.
Yeah. The one co-produced by Adam Sandler.
Yeah. Oh, Adam Sandler movie's Uncut Gems is coming out or is out, and I want to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Safdie brothers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe we can get Adam Sandler on a track. He plays music.
Yeah, he does. Just forget that.
Just have him scream
Yeah.
something. Grab a clip of him from the Meyerowitz stories, screaming at someone.
He's in that?
Yeah.
I thought that was is Henry Winkler in it?
No. It's Dustin Hoffman. Dustin
Okay.
Hoffman. There are a couple of clips of him like he's driving around New York. He's
Yeah.
just like screaming at people, like
Set
you
up.
motherfucker. Just grab a clip of that, have it stick it into our recording.
Yeah.
Featuring Adam Sandler.
I was also thinking of a podcast I listened to a lot. Is 20,000 Hertz.
What's that?
It's all about sound, and it's
Okay.
absolutely like one of my favorite podcasts because it's the perfect medium for it.
It is, yeah.
So each one is about a different topic. So it could be anything from like space to like how football uses the radio to communicate with people on the field and stuff like that, or like even hearing loss. The deaf community. There's a whole episode about that. It is absolutely probably my favorite podcast. If they talk about a phenomenon, they'll play you like that weird kind of mind trick thing.
I listen to a podcast that's about sound.
Yeah.
It's called Reasonably Sound.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It's by Mike Rugnetta,
Okay.
if you know who he is.
No.
You ever seen like
Do you know Dallas Taylor?
no.
He's the guy who does 20,000
Okay.
Hertz.
No, but Mike Rugnetta is this guy. He used to be part of PBS Digital Studios, and he did this series on YouTube about stuff like weird philosophical questions as it pertains to like internet culture or something like that.
Yeah.
He's a musician, and I think he has a degree in computer science and like music composition from Bennington College, in Vermont, and he's married to Mimi Molly.
Who's that?
Okay, I was hoping you would know, but
Oh.
who that is? Like the reference would land on you, but I guess she did stuff.
Would I know her?
She's Canadian or something, and he started doing his podcast called Reasonably Sound, where he explores like sound phenomenon. Like there's an episode about shepherd tones.
Do I know about that? Can you remind me?
A shepherd tone is like
Oh wait, is it one that just keeps going up?
it sounds like it keeps going up in
But
pitch, but it's not.
But it's like leaving and entering your
Yeah.
scope of hearing.
Yeah.
At all times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shepherd tones. Apparently, Christopher Nolan based his whole timing aspect of
On Dunkirk, yeah,
on the
on shepherd tone,
Yeah.
And
You knew that.
yeah,
I figured you knew that.
yeah. I think there's like episodes on like tinnitus or like amusia or like tone deafness or whatever, and it's just like him continuously exploring different kind of sound phenomenon. So it's pretty cool.
Well, it seems like there might be a ton of overlap, but yeah, you would probably love 20,000 Hertz too.
Cool. I'll make sure to check that out later.
Yeah.
And
what was that called?
Reasonably Sound.
Awesome.
And in case you forget, just wait until this episode's released and you can listen back and say,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's called Reasonably Sound."
Yeah. I just actually finished playing the new Star Wars video game that just came out, Jedi Fallen Order. There's a level in that too, where you're in some like ancient crypt and like there's a shepherd tone playing in the background.
Cool.
And every time I'm sure maybe it's unnoticeable for noobs, but to me, sorry, it's being really pretentious, but No, yeah, I just notice it every time, every time you go through that, you have to go through that level. It's like suddenly not like a diegetic sound,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sort of like every time you hear the Wilhelm scream, suddenly, you're pulled out of that.
Yeah.
One episode that I heard about 20,000 Hertz is about loop groups in filming, which is, whenever there's a scene with a ton of extras,
Yeah.
they're not recording any of the extras, and the extras are told to be silent too. So when there's like a group of people running, they're all running silently, and well, I guess maybe not in a group of that big of a group, but like if they're like in a diner or something, people are moving around, but they're not saying anything. Mm-hmm. They're only recording the two actors that are talking, and they add in group like background vocals and stuff like that later. With groups of actors in a room together called loop groups, and they'll say things like, we'll give them some sort of direction, like say they're protesting or something, like say this or that, you don't like this is your motivation and stuff. And so they're still getting all the same sort of directional notes, but they're doing it as a group, and they are recorded as a group.
Yeah.
And like that's another thing, like once you start hearing that, which I don't hear that as often, but like every once in a while you can pick up on it. It's like, oh, like that's a group of people in a room making sounds. That's not those people that I'm seeing on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, there's in film, when we refer to the sound effects that are audible in a finished film, it's not sound design, because sound design means you're literally creating sounds that don't exist in the real world. Like say a lightsaber going whoosh.
Ben Burt.
Yeah.
My hero.
For the sounds that do exist in the real world where you're just putting them to the film, it's called Foley.
Yeah.
So the people who work on them are called Foley artists.
Yep.
And
I was just going to say that too.
Like, I watched a video about Foley artists and whatever, and there's just a shot of like, oh, it's rain and like falling on this bush, and it sounds, oh, that sounds like rain. Turns out it's bacon frying.
Damn. When I think of Foley artists, I always think of this clip I saw from Brother Bear. Okay. It was like a behind the scenes Brother Bear thing, and the main character has just been turned into a bear, and he's hanging from a trap.
Yeah.
And he's on a rope and he's swinging back and forth. And it's just this old creaky chair back that's been removed from the chair, and the Foley artist just leaning one way with it and leaning the other way with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like a perfect rope creak,
Yeah. And as I learn more about filmmaking, I'm realizing that like the sound recorded when you're actually shooting like a scene with actors acting, most of what you hear is probably not native audio. Have you ever seen the movie Lights Out?
Lights Out?
Yeah. Directed by David F. Sandberg.
Is that recent?
No, 2016. David F. Sandberg did Shazam and Annabelle Creation. The movie Lights Out is based on a short he did called Lights Out, which starred his wife. This is like a few minutes long. And he explained his process of like, he used his exact same recorder, this Zoom H4n, to record sound for that movie.
Yeah.
And he explained their process of they wouldn't even use microphones because it's just shooting the thing, and then you separately record the Foley sound effects to put in the movie later in post.
It's like spaghetti westerns.
Yeah, because native camera audio, like the microphone on a camera, is probably shit. If anything, the only useful thing it's for is like to match up the sound you would put in later.
Yeah. To
match up with the frames. So whenever, like, say you're shooting something, you always need a different audio source than the camera, because other audio equipment, it's made to make like good recordings and stuff. And then you also have to do a bunch of work in post to like remove background noise, to EQ it so it sounds the way you want it to.
It's like same principle in music. Like, half of the value of music is the silence. The rest's like if you don't have that level of quietness,
Yeah.
And that's also part of like the psychology of it. If you're in a room and you're listening to someone, there's other stuff going on. And there's even an ambient, noise level to the room, but you're not listening to anything but the speaker.
Yeah.
And so to recreate that like psychological, level of attention, just requires all this work.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to keep going?
I don't know. I don't have anything to say right now.
We're on the longer side of things right now.
Cool.
So
yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
I feel.
I mean, you don't have anything to do for us today, do you?
No.
I just I have to go see Jumanji later.
Nice. When are you seeing that?
Huh?
When are you seeing it?
5:30 in Torrington.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
Lost a wallet there.
Yeah.
and a copy of Dune. The book.
I have a copy of
Dune.
Dune.
We didn't talk about that, but 2020 Dune.
Yeah, Dune.
I am freaking out. It's like, it is my favorite book. How do you pronounce his name? Denis Villeneuve?
Denis Villeneuve.
Yep. Guy who did 2049. Like
Blade Runner 2049.
I'm a huge fan of 2049.
And have you seen the movie he did before Blade Runner Arrival?
I've seen most of it. I haven't seen the end of it. Fell asleep one time. I was watching it at home. Yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. It's great.
I'm honestly not maybe I just got to see the end of it, but
it's, oh my God.
But I wasn't a huge fan.
Really?
It's just me.
I mean, is it?
I mean, like, I love the concept of like, okay, like they don't use our language and like they
experience time all time simultaneously.
Yeah. There's a great sci-fi book, Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein. I always say Herbert, but
because Frank Herbert,
yeah. But yeah, by Robert Heinlein, and it's one of my favorite books. And in the book, there's a child who was born of two astronauts on Mars.
Okay.
And they leave him on Mars for some reason. I can't remember why, but like for some reason they thought it was a good idea to leave them with him with the Martians. And there's definitely Martians and they live on Mars.
Okay.
Right. And so eventually they go back and they get the kid, but he's like an 18-year-old now, right? But he speaks Martian and like he's got this whole entirely different mindset based on this language, right? And so he eventually learns English and he eventually learns to communicate with people. What he ends up doing is like developing this, not a religion, but kind of centered around this language, right?
Right.
And all they do is learn the language, and because of like, I don't know what the specific word would be, but like maybe the context, just the mindset that it puts you in order to understand the language, you just like, it opens your mind to all this sort of stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. And so I greatly appreciate what they're talking about in Arrival, like I love, and even linguistics in general, I think is so cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just the aliens I thought. Do they ever show them really? Or is it just behind that glass the whole time?
Yeah. Amy Adams meets them.
Yeah.
In quote unquote person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at some point. And they do just look like black blobs.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah. Aliens. The aliens in A Quiet Place. That's getting a sequel. A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah.
They look a lot better in that trailer. The Quiet Place 2. They look like really silly in the first one. They're just like, they're running. They're hunched over. They got long legs and arms. But like in this one, I feel like they're playing it up. They got long legs and arms. So like they're reaching around stuff.
Yeah.
Big ol'.
Did you like the first one?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard some criticism, but personally, I really liked it. I thought, it was a brilliant concept, and especially when you consider that like the main child actress is deaf, and to include that perspective, I thought was brilliant and I think necessary even.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it enough that I own it now.
Was it his debut, John Krasinski?
No, he's directed other films.
Okay.
But like this was his first horror movie.
Yeah. And
also the first real thing where like people are aware, man, John Krasinski directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about horror though, like horror is stepping up its game lately.
Oh yeah.
If you think about like when we were younger, all the Saws that were coming out.
Oh yeah.
All like the Jasons, the
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. But like Us came out this
year. Yeah.
Like, oh my God. That might be actually my favorite movie of this year. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. Did Hereditary come out this year too?
No, that was 2018.
Okay.
But the same filmmaker, Ari Aster, Midsummer.
That's what Midsummer was awesome.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I love it.
And The Lighthouse came out too.
I've been meaning to watch The Light. I couldn't find it. I can't find it. I have to wait for it to come out on like Blu-ray and buy it. I have to watch it.
It was brilliant.
That. Yeah. Which Robert Eggers, the writer director of The Lighthouse, the other movie he did, The Vivitch.
Yep.
That's
Amazing movie.
Yeah.
And done in the same sort of process where they're using found dialogue from like documents and stuff
Yeah.
like that. All the dialogue is based on like true accounts. And
By the way, I met some guy who, like his cousin lives on a farm, and her goats are in the Vivitch.
oh, her black goats.
Her goats, yeah.
Damn. What an amazing movie. I watched it again recently. It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, last movie, because this is also like, I think in terms of Oscar stuff, this one is deserving. Parasite.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen Parasite?
I have not seen it yet.
You haven't seen Parasite? Oh my God.
I have to find a way to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, there's one theater up in Portland, and it's real small, but they do a good job of showing, like, you know, they showed The Lighthouse and they showed Parasite, so like that was pretty cool of them.
Like the non-mainstreamy kind of hidden gem kind of
Yeah,
movies.
they're good about doing independent stuff.
Have you, Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite, you know, he did like Okja
Yeah, Okja, great movie.
and like Snowpiercer.
He did Snowpiercer?
Yeah.
What a movie.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Same sort of like, well, not the same, but like Parasite is also like really, really, you know, powerful about like classism and, you know,
Yeah.
those who have and those who haven't,
Yeah.
have not.
Yeah, I can't wait to find it and watch it.
And
I
just
don't-
like entertainment value too.
I only hear good things.
Yeah. I can only say good things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know
And,
you love it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's I love horror movies.
Yeah.
I do. And
And I'm so happy with what's coming out lately.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, did you see Doctor Sleep?
I have not. That's out, isn't it? It's been out. For
It
a
was
while.
it was out.
Yeah. I have not.
I thought it was
The Shining.
sequel to The Shining, yeah. And it was written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who he did stuff like Absentia, Oculus.
Oh,
Have you seen Oculus?
no.
It's pretty good. And like Before I Wake, Hush, Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Gerald's Game, based on a Stephen King book, Gerald's Game.
Okay. I haven't seen that one. But...
And I think he's one of my favorites right now.
Yeah.
He I fucking love Oculus.
Yeah.
It stars Karen Gillan,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Katie
yeah.
Sackhoff, other people I think I'm forgetting, but like those are like I would say the biggest names.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome. And I thought Doctor Sleep was good too. So
Good. I'm glad. It was a bold move.
yeah,
Bold move making Doctor Sleep. But, you know, Ewan McGregor, great actor.
yeah. Rebecca Ferguson, the girl who played the young girl who is also has The Shining. She's good. Yeah, it's great.
I believe it.
All right. Are we all talked out? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great conversation.
All right.
It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Maybe you could come back later.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Just Tyler Moulton returns. Yeah.
Tyler Moulton Strikes Back.
Yeah. Return of the Tyler Moulton.
To Tyler, to Moulton.
The Moulton Awakens.
I saw this great meme back when Stranger Things 2 was coming out, and it was like Stranger Things 2,
Electric Boogaloo.
and then Stranger Things, Tokyo Drift, and then Too Strange, 4 Things, and then like Things 5, Strange 6,
Moulton's 2, the new batch.
the Strange and the Things 6, Strange is 7. It was great. It was great.
Tyler Moulton 2, Electric Boogaloo. Tyler Moulton, the last Moulton.
Yeah.
Tyler's Moulton, the rise of Moulton.
Yeah. There's like another movie coming out called The Last Stand or something, like something, and then because it's a sequel, The Last Stand. Which I think is funny.
X-Men The Last Stand.
It's not X-Men The Last Stand, but that's what I first thought. I was like, so they're just going to do another The Last Stand.
I know there's going to be another adaptation miniseries based on Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You said live action?
It's going to be live action, I think.
There's a ton of Stephen King stuff even on Netflix now.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it, but 1922,
Oh, yeah.
I heard good things.
I heard good things. I haven't seen it, though.
Me neither.
I was too busy watching
Short. It's short.
I was too busy watching Gerald's Game.
Yep. Yeah.
But, okay, I think we gone on for long enough.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on. And I hope you have time later to like check out other episodes of the
Yeah,
show.
I will.
Because a lot of them are really fun. Like
believe I want to hear Sue.
Yeah.
I want to hear Jimmy
Yeah.
and Phoebe.
Yeah. And they're friends of mine from Hartford who the two big ones that I think are just really fun because it's just making each other laugh for half the time, where they're both named Nathan.
Yeah.
So and their episodes are great. They're fun.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Awkward
We're shaking hands.
handshake across the table. Try not to bump into the microphones.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. This was cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have you on later. So again later. So
Yeah. Great.
cool.